Okay, let's get going. Hey, everybody, Debbie Starr here. Glad you could catch this workshop. So, today, what we're going to talk about is creating your power offer so that your prospects are eager to say yes. I've got a few slides that I'm going to go through, and we'll just map out how can you create this power offer? What are the components involved in that? And then we will go off camera if anybody has any questions, anything like that, that I can help you with. All right. So what are we going to cover today? Basically, the main components that you need for your power offer, because you want to be able to stand out from the crowd and you want to add some of those juicy, irresistible elements to your offer that it just makes it a no-brainer for people to say, yes, I want it. All right. So when we are crafting our power offer, it all starts with the big promise. Okay. What's that pot at the end of the rainbow? What's on the other side of that big gulf, the promised land? And in some of the worksheets that I'm going to give you at the end here, I just want you to be thinking about what is that big problem? And then we are going to reverse it. And the promise is the solution to that big problem. All right. So think about that big promise that you're going to offer has to tie in directly with, I always call it that bleeding neck problem. What is it that they're struggling with and how can you solve it? And then what you need to figure out is what is your unique framework, because everybody can offer the same solution, so to speak, but what makes you stand out above others? And, going to the grocery store is, the perfect example of this. I mean, how many different brands of whatever it is, let's say laundry soap. Well, when you're reading the packages, at the end of the day, it all has the same purpose to wash your clothing. Well, this one has those little stain enhancer pellets in it. Okay. This one has that fresh, fragrant, whatever it is. You get what I'm saying, right? So when you are looking at your big promise, you need to identify the framework and the mechanism that makes your big promise different than other people. All right. And then once you have that figured out, you need to name it to claim it. All right. And with ChatGPT and all of these extra AI services out there, if you struggle with coming up with a unique name for your power offer, then get some help because it's that name that will sell your product also to help it stand out. And it needs to be something that just kind of rolls off the tongue. And depending on what it is, it could actually become part of your brand. All right. So the first thing I'm thinking of is Jello. Okay. If you grew up in the era where that's what your dessert was, I mean, Jello is the brand name. Everybody knows what Jello is. And even the off brand, if you were going to purchase it, you would still call it Jello. All right. So they came up with a unique name it to claim it. Super easy. I mean, it's gelatin. It's flavored gelatin, right? But it's a great name. So when you're thinking about your offer, when you name it to claim it, then it becomes part of you, part of your branding. It's connected with your unique mechanism, and it kind of locks into people's mind. Then what we need to do is when we're writing copy, when we're talking about our offer, we need to do what we call the future forecasting. So in other words, what is their life going to look like once they've strapped on your solution? So I love this little sign here, promised land ahead, right? Excuse me. So your power offer is going to be written and constructed in such a way that people can visualize, hey, in the future, in the promised land, I'm no longer going to have this problem because your solution has solved it for them. And then what you need to do is these magic words so that you can what? All right. So what are the benefits of this particular service or product that you're offering? Take like a fitness coach, take my 3-month fitness program. At the end of the program, lose 15 pounds. That's great. So that you can get on the floor and play with your grandkids, or so that you can walk a mile and not even be out of breath. Okay. Because what's happening is the benefit, if we don't have that benefit tied into that future promise, it's not going to stick. So you think about that. And then you want to dive into those secret benefits. So let's go back to the fitness example there. Your ideal people, when you're kind of digging behind the scenes, so to speak, you need to get into those core benefits or emotions that are motivating them to want to do something about it. So in the fitness world, join my fitness program for 3 months. At the end of those 3 months, you will have lost 15 pounds so that you can, walk to the mailbox and back, not feel winded, keep up with your grandkids. And so that your husband looks at you and says, wow, what have you done? Or so that when you go to that class reunion, all of a sudden people are looking at you thinking, what has she done? She looks great. Okay. So do you see how those benefits stack on top of each other? So you've got the promised land, what is going to be the solution? Then you've got the benefit, and then try to dig into those secret emotional motivators. Because if you can tap into that, that's where it's going to be golden. So I always, we've all heard this illustration that, the ice cap, there's a bigger chunk underneath that you can't see. So when you're figuring out what your power offer should be, tap into what are these hidden emotions, these emotions that people don't readily talk about. And when you talk about it, they're going to say, wow, she gets me. How does she know that? Right. And then what I want to mention is the difference between an offer versus a product. Okay. So a product is the bits and pieces of your offer. A product is a 3-month coaching program with me where we have weekly live Q&A sessions. We have weekly get help working sessions. We have 15 templates, et cetera, et cetera. So that's describing the product, the thing that they will be using or that you'll use to implement to get them to the promised land. But the offer, that's what we're going to dig into now, is all of the components that make this a power offer. So let me grab my little pen here and I'll use this. So the first thing, when you are creating your power offer, what you're really doing is making your diamond. So the first part, the first facet of your diamond is the promise. So we talked about that, the promised land. And sometimes like over in England, they'll say, what's on the tin? What's on the package? Okay. So when you are creating your promise, the more succinct and the more you can factor in specifics. Okay. So if somebody said that they were selling, I'm going to use initials here, thin thighs in 30 days. Somebody said that this was actually a book title. And that is a place that you can go look at book titles and look at what is the promise that they are offering. So do you notice how clear it is? Thin thighs in 30 days. Okay. Say goodbye to 15 pounds and be able to lift a bowling ball without, I don't know, I'm not in the fitness world, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. So the promise needs to be short, concise, but so clear that they get it. So if you imagine your power offer as this diamond, what label are you going to put on the front of it? And that is your promise, right? Then the second part of your power offer is the actual offer. Okay. So what is involved in this offer? So, again, we'll kind of stick with this. So maybe it's 30 days of one-to-one coaching. Can't write with my mouse here. And then, I don't know, maybe 90 days meal plan. Oh dear, you can't even read this, but you get the idea. Okay. Now, what I want to say though is here we're not saying live Zoom lessons and a workbook. What we're doing is in the offer, what are the tangible things that they will get? So actual 30 days of one-to-one coaching. So if you were in the fitness world, maybe you offer a 30-day Voxer coaching support. And then in addition to that, you offer 90-day meal plan. And then a protein fat calculator. Okay. So do you see how those things are very tangible? So when people are looking at the promise and then the offer, so it's kind of like opening up that box and say, oh, I get all of this with the offer. That's what we're talking about. So I'm just going to erase this so that we can have more room. So let me know if that is making sense, right? So that's the second part of our power offer. The third part is what I call the wrapper. If you've ever purchased anything from Apple products, oh my goodness, the experience, the wrapper, the way that their products are packaged and wrapped. If you've never purchased anything, you need to purchase something because everything is just so beautiful and the presentation is so great. Like I'm a Mac girl, so I buy computers and laptops and iPads and all of that kind of stuff. But even the boxes look so nice, so rich. I don't even want to throw them away because they look so nice. Okay, so as you're building your offer, what kind of wrapper can you put around everything? And I've got some examples here in a minute to talk about. But again, that's part of this whole experience because going back to our agenda, what can you do to make your product stand up above everybody else? All right. And then the next part of our power offer is it easy to buy? All right. Now, based on how much your program or service costs, I get the whole application thing because you want to weed out the tire kickers and all of that kind of stuff. But If it is so complicated for people to get into your program, they're going to say, well, forget it. All right. And we're also going to talk about how can you make it easier for them to buy. And I'll tap into that in a couple of minutes. Right. And then the last thing of your power offer is what we call the risk reversal. Now, even in smaller priced, a $297 program or something, the when somebody goes to buy whatever it is, whether it's right before they hit the buy button or right after, what are they thinking? They're thinking to themselves, but what if? And most of the time, they're doubting themselves. They're thinking, even if you have all of these testimonials and claims and everything else, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, yeah, but what if I can't figure it out? Or, well, they were successful, but maybe I'm not. And sometimes maybe they don't know you. And so they don't have that factor of trust built in yet. So they might even be doubting you. But most of the time, people doubt themselves. And, if you've ever invested in a coaching program, I know I have, after you hit that buy button, maybe the next day, maybe later that day, you think, oh my goodness, what did I do? I just invested $5,000. I hope this coach can help me get to the promised land, right? So those are normal feelings. So what can you do to reduce that risk that's going on in their mind? So we're going to talk about some of the ways that you can do that. So those are the 5 components that make up your power offer. So let me know if that is making sense. So again, the reason that we're building this power offer is it's going to become your diamond. And everybody loves diamonds, right? So it's really going to shine. It's going to be above, head and shoulders above the other offers out there. So let's just talk for a brief minute about the wrapping. And I've got a couple of templates for you that I'll share. Again, if somebody just gives you something versus it's all wrapped up with a pretty bow, even though you're going to unwrap it, which one would you rather have? Now, I'm a professor at the university, and one of the classes that I used to teach, a marketing class, I brought in a couple of like tangerines or oranges, and then I took the same ones and I put them in a clear little cellophane bag, and I tied it with a little bow, little ribbon, and I presented it to the class. Same price. Which one would you take? It's a no-brainer. You would take the one that looks beautiful. What if I offered, what if this one was just a little more? Even though logically, depending on what it is, of course, but logically, maybe you're thinking, well, why should I spend a little more? But part of purchasing is that emotional process that you're going through. And we all love something that's pretty, that looks like it's just top shelf. Okay. And if you purchase something where the people or the company have taken the time to like really dress it up, then don't you think they might be taking extra time with how they're actually running their program? So it does say something about the wrapping that you put around your offer. It does do something for the psyche, so to speak. It does make a difference. So hopefully that's making sense for you. Okay. And then when we talked about easy to buy, so how can we make your program, your coaching program, your service, whatever it is, easy to buy? Well, especially nowadays, money is getting tighter. People are feeling the squeeze. So what can you do to make it easier? Definitely look at doing payment plans, if at all possible. And sometimes just by using the wording of get started today for only $100, and then it's $199 a month. Okay. And that actually satisfies the risk reversal a little bit too, because if the entry to join is a little lower, they can kind of jump in, take a quick look around, and then they're like, okay, yes, this is good. And then next month rolls around and you've got the automation set up where they bill them for the next one. All right. So make it easy for them to buy. And as we talked about, don't, unless you're selling a $10,000 program and you need to get on a call and talk to people, don't make the whole process so complicated that, you scare them away. I always use the buying a new car scenario. I don't know about you, but that is like my least favorite thing to do. I don't know why it takes, I'll get on a soapbox. I don't know why it takes 4 hours. If you know exactly what you want, you've already mapped it out, you go in and you think, okay, this is going to be easy. And it's still 4 hours later, you're still waiting and going through everything. So you want your people to say, wow, that was really easy. They made me feel really comfortable and hey, I'm ready to go. Now I have other training programs inside my Digital Business Academy and we talk about, how to onboard people, how to deliver the wow effect, all of that kind of stuff. But what I want you to be thinking about is how can you make it easy for your people to buy? All right, good. So now I've got some worksheets here that I'll make available if you want it. So what I want you to be thinking about is the power components of your offer. And the more succinct that you can make your promise or the transformation, the better. And remember I said, thin thighs in 30 days, 6-pack abs without sweating at the gym 24/7, whatever it is, help them visualize it, that they can see, yes, that's what I want and I can get there. And then as you're building out your offer, what are the individual components of the offer? And again, we're not talking about Zoom lessons, workbooks, but we're talking about, okay, you sign up and you get a template for XYZ, you get this calculator, you get this, this, and this, right? Then think about what can you do to really wrap this up so makes it beautiful. How can you make it easy for them to buy it? And what kind of risk reversal? And something else for the risk reversal, remember how we talked about name it to claim it? You should also put a name on your guarantee. All right. So one that I use a lot, I call it my sleep easy guarantee. So what that means is you can go to bed at night. You don't have to lay awake thinking, oh my goodness, what did I just do? Okay. So my risk reversal is my sleep easy guarantee is if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied with the purchase, just email me and I will refund your money. It's that simple. Okay. My larger ticket coaching program, the risk reversal is, if after 90 days you don't have your signature offer out there and clients, then I'll work with you until we do. Okay. So depending on the price of your offer and where you're taking them to, frame it in such a way that they have that feeling of relief. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to worry about this, and give it a name. Doesn't have to be fancy. Mine is my Sleep Easy guarantee. Then some additional things to add to your power offer. The first one is scarcity. Now, I'm not talking about fake scarcity. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can say, for instance, I'm opening up my coaching program, but I only have room for 5 people. That's a legitimate scarcity in the sense that there's only so much of me. So if I was doing the one-to-one coaching and I'm opening the door for a few more people, there's only so much of my time. So, it's a no-brainer, right? You could also put time scarcity. Join my beta program now in the next 3 days. And then once the door is closed, next time I offer it, it's going to go up to, XYZ. So think about, because here's the deal with scarcity. We're all lackadaisical, I guess. We put off until the end. And then all of a sudden at the very last minute, it's like, oh yes, I want that. So if we kind of light the fire a little bit, let them know that it's a scarcity and it's not going to last forever, that will help people to move closer to it. On the price, we hadn't really talked about the price. Again, I have other workshops that help you define what is the best price, but you need to, based on what it is that you're offering. And my philosophy is I don't race to the bottom with my prices. I am a premier, high level, high touch coach. So my services go more to the top, not to the bottom. So just something to think about, because if you try to say, well, they offer 300, so I'm going to offer 275. If you have that mentality, they call it the race to the bottom. Nobody wins. The other thing to think about are bonuses. People love bonuses. It's just something to sweeten the deal. So think about what else can you offer. And here's the deal. Don't just open the pantry and start dragging in a bunch of stuff that you have laying around, but what would they need to help them maybe fast track or get to the next immediate win? So for instance, in my coaching program, some Canva templates that they're ready to rock and roll with their social media posting for the next 30 days. That could be a bonus, and it ties in with building their social presence. Okay. So do you see how you want to mirror the bonus items to your offer? And then your payment plans, just write it out here. And you could have 2 or 3 different payment plans, and always reward people who pay in full. So you might say, get an extra coaching session with me for everyone that pays in full, or you could reduce the price. You could be offering a program that's $100 a week, or if you pay in full for the whole year, you get $1,000 knocked off the price. All right. So reward those pay in full. And then depending on what it is, you could offer them maybe 2 or 3 other. You don't want to give them too many choices, but you want to make it easy for them to jump in to the program. And then the last thing here is, what are some fast action bonus items? So again, to light that fire. So if you're doing a launch, running like a live workshop or anything like that, then you might say the first 5 people that opt in for my program, they're going to get XYZ. Okay. Or the anybody that signs up by tomorrow at midnight will get an additional whatever it is. So just think about that, because it gives people that incentive of why they should jump now to purchase it. All right, now putting it all together, again, these are just worksheets that you can use. What is the name of your offer? So again, name it to claim it. What is that big transformation that you're going to offer? Thin thighs in 30 days. Okay, the more you can tie it in with a tangible end product, okay, gain 10 hours back in your weekly calendar, with these streamlined organizational tips, whatever it is, but try to tie it into a figure so people can visualize that. Then tap into their benefits. Why are they needing and wanting this? So that, those are the magic words, so that you can what? And then those additional benefits from the benefits. And this is really what we call the E words, those emotions. Okay. So then once you put that all together, you can write your power offer statement there. All right. Is that making sense? And then I call this the stack items. So what are some of the items, the additional things that will be in your offer? So remember, when I talk about these tangible things, and let me just say this about a workbook. Do we really want to work? Not really. But if we can, again, come up with names that reflect both how they're going to use it and the benefits from that. Your daily mindfulness journal to help, I don't know, keep you focused on what you're trying to do, something like that, instead of just, oh, you get a workbook. You understand what I'm saying? On guides, it might be step-by-step standard operating procedure so that you and your team can easily hit the ground running. Okay. 5-part checklist so that you never miss a step in your launch program. All right. So you get the idea of what to add to those. And then another worksheet, just, you've probably done this before, but spend some time thinking about your ideal people. And the I help statement is, who do you help and how do you help them? So again, we all have heard there's riches in the niches, and it's hard to narrow it down, but each reiteration of it will help us get clearer on it. So a fitness coach versus a fitness coach who helps menopausal women, or you could even narrow it down more, a fitness coach who helps menopausal women who struggle with thyroid issues, whatever it is. The more you can niche it down, the better. If you can't figure it out, at least try to pick 2 or 3 kind of higher level descriptors of who you help and what are their main pain points. This should be pain, not point. Their main pain points, because then the flip is, how are you going to help them? The opposite of those pain points. And 3 is the magic number here. Okay. So in real life, I help people get more leads. Okay. I help people have an easy way to sell. And I also help people to streamline so that they can scale. All right. And what would the problems be? The problems would be no lack of leads or inconsistent lead flow. A second problem might be they hate selling, they hate getting on social media, they don't want to dance on TikTok. And the third one might be they're time poor, they feel like that they're working around the clock and they can't move the needle. So the solution, how I help them, is I help them create a hot lead gen machine so that they get leads every day that turn into those clients. I help them have an easy selling system so that they don't have to dance on TikTok and they don't have to spend hours on social media. And I help them scale their business with easy non-tech solutions and help them get their business to the point that it will be easy to scale to the next level. All right. So does that make sense what I'm saying? So as you're identifying the main pain points, then how you help is just the reverse of those. And then once you've got all of that, you're going to create that great program name that name it to claim it, so that when people say it, they immediately know it's you and they know how you're going to help them. And then just a couple of examples here. So again, I talked about the wrapper. And so especially when you're selling the intangible, okay? So if you were selling Etsy, on Etsy, for instance, it's a tangible thing. They're going to buy your spreadsheet, download it, and they've got it. But if you're selling the intangible, coaching services, for instance, it's hard for people to visualize that. So you need to make it come to life. And how you do that is through what we call the digital stack. So on Canva, you'll just use something like this, and you will just drop in. Let me see if I can just demonstrate this here for you. So for instance, I have got an onboarding checklist here, video onboarding checklist. All right. So do you see now, well, this is a physical thing, but let's say I'm teaching a course on how to onboard, how to automatically onboard clients. And maybe it's a $300 course or something. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm adding all of the tangible items that they're going to get in this program. And it helps them visualize that. Let's see, let me bring in something else so you can see it. Okay. So is that making sense? It helps them visualize, instead of me just telling them, when you join my program, these are the things that you're going to get. This is how I'm going to help you. All right. So hopefully that's making sense. So let me just come back here to this slide for a quick little wrap up. when you are building your power offer, again, we want that promise. We want to get them over that gulf to the promised land. Needs to be tight, succinct, speak to their heart. And then as we're building out the offer, the components of the offer that we're going to be sharing with them, we want to wrap it up pretty, right? Because we all love getting diamonds. So make it shine like a diamond. I want you to make it easy to purchase and then also have that risk reversal so that they're not laying awake at night saying, oh my goodness, what did I do? Okay. All right. So let me come back to our agenda here. I think we've covered everything. So basically how to build your power offer, the essential components that you need, how to stand out above the crowd, and how to bake in those irresistible elements so that people will be raising their hand. So I hope this was useful for you. If you're not part of the Digital Business Academy, this is a low-priced monthly coaching membership where I help you build out your power offer and all of the back-end pieces for it. So I'll put in the comments below so that you can snag that. If for my members that are watching this inside of DBA or Digital Business Academy, reach out and we'll work on your power offer together. All right, so I hope this was useful. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.